I would like to first point out that I watched the Ultimate Edition, which I personally think is a large improvement over the theatrical cut. Mostly, it fleshes out Lex Luthor's plan to frame Superman, which makes the film hold together better overall.
So, if man won't kill God,
2, 1.
the devil will do it.
I also want to say I really like Lawrence Fishburne's performance as Perry White. He steals every scene he's in.
No match. My guys in the crime lab never seen one before.
It's called a bullet. You shoot people with them.
The problem with this movie, other than this,
Kill Martha! Why did you say that name?
is that this film lacks focus. It can't seem to decide who its main character is between Batman, Superman, Lex Luthor, or Lois Lane. And it gives each of their stories about an equal amount of screen time, which doesn't help. Some parts of each story are very good, but there are many scenes that do nothing to propel the plot forward, whatever that particular plot might be at the time. This film should have concentrated on the confrontation between Batman and Superman at the hands of Lex Luthor, and should have left Doomsday for another film. But at the time, DC was so desperate to steal some of Marvel's thunder, they were basically rushing through everything to get to the big team-up films. And that Marvel-motivated mentality definitely shows in this movie, and it's probably the biggest reason it doesn't work. Batman is my favorite superhero, and I like it when movie makers understand Batman.
Because he doesn't care.
Wrong. It's the opposite. Underneath, he cares more than any of us.
I don't know. After Batman v Superman, it's nice coming back to a version of the character that makes sense to the character. Batman Unlimited was a trilogy of straight-to-video animated films that were only meant to sell toys. Despite this, none of these films are particularly bad, and in fact, the plot in this one of Penguin and Mr. Freeze teaming up to break well-known supercriminals out of Arkham Asylum is pretty good. Though after they do that, it gets really silly.
I think that'll do.
You ordered your own mech.
You think you're the only billionaire in the world?
The presentation of the film tends to fluctuate in quality throughout the movie's runtime. Mostly, it's just kind of boring and most scenes are too long. The parts in this that work mostly make up for the parts that are lacking though. The animation throughout is very good, and I like seeing this different style for all the characters. But the action in this film goes from not too bad to just okay fairly often. Vixen was a 2-season-long web series about a woman with the ability to call on the power of any animal. It was produced by the CW to go alongside their Arrowverse shows. This film is both seasons smashed together with a bit in the middle to help it flow a little better. It works fine for what it is, but, well, it feels exactly like two films thrown together with a boring part in between them. The voice acting, animation, and action are all pretty good, though this loses points for using the same action sequence within 10 minutes of each other. But stuff like this probably work better as a web series. As an aside, I do like this version of Vixen a lot, and I'm a little disappointed this didn't spin off into its own Arrowverse animated series or something. There's good action throughout this film, but the story, tone, and pacing are kind of all over the place. Ocean Master, with the help of Atrocitus, takes over Atlantis and sends the Justice League to the other side of the galaxy. Also, Dexter's in it! Aw, so cute! Even as a Lego!
By the hairballs of Hades, that is one furious feline!
Anyway, this is a pretty good storyline for a straight-to-video Lego movie. The problem is that, for one, most of the jokes don't land, though some are pretty good if you like dad jokes. It also takes a good deal of time before the story starts to get good. Also, there are way too many plot lines going on. Green Lantern has to learn to be brave.
Come on, Ring! How about a little help here?
You must overcome your fear.
I can't!
Batman has issues with his utility belt.
Yet another handy tool from my all-purpose utility belt.
Ocean Master doesn't suspect Atrocitus.
Now to begin stage 3.
Wait, we only talked about 2 stages.
Superman loses his powers because the planet they're on is around a red sun.
Okay, Clark, you got this.
Batman doesn't like people who withhold information.
I don't recall him sharing that on his application form. Now I'll have to update his records.
Loba misses his fish friend.
I'm not here for a scuffle. I'm looking for my friend Fishy. You wouldn't by chance to see my friend, would you?
Batman and friends build a spaceship. Mira is angry for some reason. Everyone is angry for some reason. Ocean Master changes the Constitution. Aquaman is a half-human dowsing rod. Robin is acting more like a kid to annoy Batgirl. This scene in the Mos Eisley Cantina. I'm just saying that this is a lot for a movie that's only an hour and 50 minutes long. Focus is what this movie lacks. That and particularly good jokes. First film in the DC Superhero Girls series.
You know how to start off with a real bang!
Supergirl gets used to being the new girl in a high school full of kids with superpowers. Anyway, though the entire concept of this is just insane, it does tell a decent story in the same vein as Harry Potter, except instead of magic, everyone has superpowers. Except the people that don't. Actually, why are non-superpowered people there anyway? That doesn't make sense. This is fun, though exceptionally corny, but the story itself feels more like something you'd see in a teenage girl's fan fiction than something someone paid money to produce. I guess this was made for TV, so it's forgivable, but it's just not what one might expect from a superhero storyline. Also, this film is only 40 minutes long, but it's really slow in the first half, and then it feels like it's rushing through everything in the second half. That just feels like it could have been fixed to me.